Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. James Sharmack here. So, it's been a while since we've done a Star Wars figure review, and probably a bit longer since I've done a Darth Vader review. Anywho, today we are looking at a brand new Black Series, or it's a re-release or whatever. The Star Wars Obi-Wan Vader's Duel's End, where he has that split mask. So looking forward to taking a look at that. And, seeing if it's just worth it just for, if it's either just a head variant or like the whole thing is, a new body. Anyway, let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at the box. It's, I guess, it's the Black Series, right? For a while, I guess they did it on cards and then they went back to this. But anyways, you got Star Wars Obi-Wan on the bottom. On the side there, Darth Vader's Duel End. On the side, you got a picture of Darth Vader with the art. Same picture on the back. A little bit of text here if you want to pause and take a look. On the side, nothing going on there. And on the top, nothing going on. So let's take this sucker out of the box and take a look. So we have the figure out of the box looking pretty solid, though I think, the chest plate up here might be from Return of the Jedi, because I think the silver stands out a little bit more in that movie. But anyways, very cool looking figure. I'm just looking for battle damage. Obviously the chest has battle damage, and the head pretty solid looking. You can see they have actually done a sculpt. Well, why wouldn't they do a sculpt for battle damage Anakin Skywalker? So that's pretty cool looking. That detail is pretty awesome. Pretty solid. The thing that makes it special is basically this is the only time I've seen in live action. I'm pretty sure, or they've done it in live action where they actually have the helmet split open. They've done it in video games. They've done it in a cartoon. But in the Obi-Wan series, it's really the first time in live action they've actually done this effect. And just rip open the mask so you can see it on the inside. So that's pretty cool. Otherwise, you have the usual Vader details. The belt looks pretty cool with the electronics. That fake texture going on around. Boots look pretty cool. Gloves look pretty cool. Nice fabric for the cape and the skirt going on. So pretty solid. Now the figure comes with only one accessory. His Vader lightsaber, which you can put it on sheathed, or you can have on full ignite. So that's pretty cool. Doesn't look like he has a space on his belt to put it on, so he's going to have to hold it in his hand. So still pretty cool. Well, let's take a look at his articulation, see what you can do, put in pose, whatever. So his head spins all the way around. Can't really move him up or down. Obviously it's a helmet. Arm doesn't go up too high, but it goes all the way around. No rotation at the bicep, but a rotation at the elbow and bend at the elbow. Wrist rotation and a little bit of back and forth. Can bend back that far, can bend forward that far, not too much. Not too much rotation on the diaphragm, obviously, but the belt and the skirt get in the way. They go apart that far. They go forward and back that far. Rotation at the thigh. Double joint at the knee. Ankle pivoting back and forth. So you can get some decent, leg posing, I guess. Okay, so for a spot of reference, I pulled out the original Vader I have from the Black Series. Pretty much looks almost like it's the same. Well, okay, it's not exactly the same sculpt. Obviously, the chest is different. Obviously the mask, the breathing control apparatus, but pretty much. Actually, no, the hand's different here, but almost looks like it might be the same sculpt. I don't really feel like looking into it, but maybe not. But let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of lazy with this. And here I put him in a pose with the only Obi-Wan figure I have from the series, the Wandering Jedi. I'm pretty sure there's an Obi-Wan from the climax or the finale. I'll see if I can find him, because it might be cool to actually put these two in a pose. But we'll see how it goes. So I think their figure's pretty solid. I'm a sucker for a different head sculpt, or if the body's got scratches on it from a fight, I'm not ashamed to buy a figure for some kind of variation. So obviously the figure with a Darth Vader figure with the open helmet, obviously that's an immediate grab for me. Pretty solid. It goes for retail price. I think I bought them from Amazon, from Hasbro Pulse. I bought them from Amazon. Bought them from Amazon. About the usual price, like $27. Pretty solid. I dig it. I'm glad to have it in the collection. Like I said, I'm going to see if I can find the Obi-Wan to correspond with him. Actually have him in a fight scene or something, whatever. But I dig the detail on it. He's clearly more new parts or new sculpt than old, I guess, from what I've seen. I like posing him, pretty cool. Obviously, this is just I'm buying this for the helmet, or obviously open skull, and that's okay, and I dig it, and I'm glad I did. That's probably the only reason anyone's going to buy it, just for like the battle damage. So go out and get it for it. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you did like this video. I'll probably see if I can do a couple more Star Wars videos. If you do like this, or I'll do it anyways. But if you do like, stick around. What down the line, maybe in the very near future, we'll do a couple of Revenge of the Sith figures. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. My name is James Sharmack. This has been a Nerdum with J&J, and as always, keep on collecting and happy hunting.